everyone, Janelle here. I am going to show you how I make the masks that I've been donating. This is an example. So these primarily were intended to go over on top of an N95 mask. So this covers, you can see it covers from top to bottom. It is meant as an added layer of protection that can be taken off, brought home, and sterilized at the end of the night so that these can last longer for people in situations where they have to use this more than one time. So it might not be the most sterile, so that you take these and these are able to be sterilized. This is a design that I modified from a hospital's guideline design. It uses string instead of elastic band, so it doesn't put strain on the back of the ears for people who have to wear them for long periods of time. And since the elastic is also quite hard to find right now, and string tends to be easier to find, I find that this is a little bit easier to mass produce. I modified the design to have a little bit of a gap in here so that from the original design, because I've found a lot of people don't actually have N95 masks where my masks have been going, so these have the ability to add like a coffee filter or something else that is approved for safety regulations. I can show you the charts that show what are healthier. These have been made from 400 thread count sheets, top sheets that I just cut up. I've also just been using any type of strong fabrics, but I just found, again, this is meant as just a bonus added protector on top of the N95, but I've been trying to use different good woven fabrics like cotton and cotton blends are the top rated to be used as masks. But I'm going to show you how to make this. It's pretty easy. I just took a template, the 6 inches by 9 inches. I took a cardboard and I just put it on my sheet and I cut it out. So I have 2 pieces of sheets, and I came up with 14 inches. I literally just took the measuring thing on my, these are actually a little bit shorter. These are like 13 inches. They're like anywhere about 13 inches to 14 inches for pieces of string. I double up the piece of fabric, and I put it on. I try to start maybe, let me see how far that is. Maybe the midpoint is 5, so I try to go around like 4 inches, but I just kind of eyeball it, to tell you the truth. I take one string and I put it in. So this is, I messed this up on the first one. I'm putting the string in between the 2 layers so that the long part is on the inside. So just a little baby tab comes out here. And I start sewing. And then I back stitch, because remember, this is where the hole's going to be that people are going to be putting the filter, so I back stitch it a little so that it has extra reinforcement there. And I go over that piece of string in the corner, and I back stitch it at least twice. So that's 1 time, so I back stitched over it, that's 2, and then I come forward again, that's 3. I lift the foot, and then I pivot, and then I'm just going to come down. About halfway, I don't know, I don't like to put the strings in too soon because I just feel like they get in the way. But now I'm just going to put the other one, and again I'm putting the string, the long piece of string in, tucked between, so I'm just having the ends line up. And I just cover it over. And I sew, and right as I get to the end, I back stitch. I don't know if this light's too bright. I don't know what else to do about that. I pivot again. This fabric's a little wrinkly, so I just gotta hold it flat. I'm gonna take my 3rd string. Again, I lift the flap for a second. The long piece in there, and I like to get the other piece out of the end, so I just kind of put that in that corner, hold the corner down, slowly sew into the corners, do it slow, And I back stitch and then one more time forward, so that's 3 times at least that it's going over that string. So it's like, you want to make sure it's pretty sturdy. Now I like to just take these 3 other strings and tuck them in there. Just get out of the way before I do my 4th corner. Put the foot back down. Now the last corner, again I just kind of tuck it in there, the string, so it's out of the way. And then I just line up this last corner with a string, and then I just try to pull that nice and flat. So now all 4 pieces of string are in there, and I'm just finishing it out. I'm back stitching over that string. Okay, I'm pivoting. And last but not least, make sure all those strings are kind of away from where I'm sewing so you don't stitch it in the way. And I usually like to leave about an inch gap, maybe a little more than an inch and a half. Looks like in closer. I've never actually measured it, I've just kind of been eyeballing it. So I take it out, I cut the string. So now I have this square. And I take the square and I turn it inside out. I usually try to go to one of the opposite corners first. It's easier that way. It pops through on itself. It's just like a little mini pillowcase. It's really simple to make. This is like the basic of how you'd make like a little pillow, and then you would sew it shut later after you stuffed it. So it's really simple. So now I just kind of gently pull the corners to make sure they're nice and crisp. Okay, and now, so a lot of people were pinning this, but I just find that folding it over and holding it works for me best, and it saves me a lot of time since I'm making a lot of these. I just fold it over like that. I find also the ones that are pleated too close together, they don't fan out as nice, so I kind of like just having like a slight pleat over. I feel like just a little pleat over makes it so it curves to the face nicely, but it doesn't shorten the corners too much. Then I just kind of hold it, and I like going like with the pleats. Like I don't go against the pleats with the machine so that the foot doesn't catch up on them, but I just hold it down and I start right at the edge. And again, I'm just trying to have like a little bit of a fold over. You can see how much pleating I get. So I'm just going to go down, and then again I back stitch here, just make sure the extra strong. I'm just going quickly over this. I'm just staying close to the edge too. And I just like to back stitch one more just to make sure extra safe. And I just come on up, pull the string out, and I cut it. Try to get the little excesses. I don't know. Again, I'm just doing this for free donation, so yes, I could probably take a little more time with the finishing work, but I'm worried about quantity, not necessarily these little flyaways. So it just looks like that. So I try to match it to the other side. I try to pleat it around the same spot. Again, before I was using the little pins, but I was having just a problem, and like my machine kept jamming up on stuff, and my pins were getting caught on the needle. I broke 2 needles, and I only have 3. So I'm like, I can't. Like, this is just so much easier for me to just fold it over and just hold it. It's not like that hard. Oh man. So kind of went my string got too short there. I'm gonna just re-thread it real quick. Of course, it happens when I'm on the video camera. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try to thread it. I swear my eyes are getting old. Hard for me to see this stupid little needle. This is hands down the hardest part of making this. It's threading the needle when the string comes out. Okay. So put that in there. Get my pleating back. Okay. So I'm gonna back stitch a little bit. Okay, and I'm just gonna slowly. When I get to the end, I back stitch a little bit more. Okay. Pull my string, cut off a little excess string. Okay, and that is my mask. The string that I've been using is a little linty, but the yarn that I had left over. But that's my mask, so it's double-sided. If you want to see, it can go on top of the N95 mask, covers it. Here. I'll just show it, see what it looks like without. I can prop my iPad. So just look like that, and then you can tie it. You tie it behind your head. There's 2 different ties. So, and does the job. So anyways, I hope you find this helpful and get out there and make some masks for people, because everyone needs to wear one. Okay, thanks, bye.